Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now the middle of March of 2023, and as we get closer to Chapter 21 of The Mandalorian Season 3, a lot of fans are also anticipating the Ahsoka Tano series that's all being created by Dave Filoni with the help of Jon Favreau and other creators on board as well. And not just that, we also have Mando Season 4 that is pretty much almost complete with the entire script. The storyboarding process is still going along as we speak, and a lot more on the horizon beyond all of that. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that George Lucas has been getting a lot more involved over at Lucasfilm with Jon and Dave, and really getting more involved with the upcoming Star Wars shows, the upcoming unannounced projects that will be announced at Celebration and D23, we have a lot of great things on the horizon by Bob Iger. And like I said before, and if you guys have been following for a while, you will know that I'm not really a big fan of Bob Iger, nor do I really support him, but I gotta give him some credit for at least allowing Jon and Dave to do whatever's necessary to turn Star Wars around for the better, right? Now, that brings us to George Lucas and exactly what he's been up to when it comes to a very big project that some fans may view as unnecessary, and other fans may view as rather entertaining. But it does involve what George is currently doing and what he's about to reveal that's going to change the sequel trilogy forever. Now, as you all know, there's a lot of things happening with canon changes coming our way, with, of course, not just in the traditional sense of retconning and stuff like that, but also in the other sense of special editions coming out for episodes 7, 8, and 9, as we talked about for the past year and a half. This is something that has been in an ongoing development, and they are building toward it. Now, of course, given that with both Disney and Lucasfilm getting ready to develop new Star Wars projects that will be announced at D23 later this year, it's noted that George Lucas recently made a very big change to the Star Wars lore that he convinced Disney to authorize and to be created by other creators in future projects to be explained in various formats, such as shows and more. Now further, Lucas is about to reveal something big to the fandom involving a significant change to sequel trilogy canon and lore that he is currently working on that will change the fans' view of the end of episode 9. Now, it's noted that special editions of the sequels are currently in development that will involve deleted scenes and added effects to already existing ones that will be considered canon. One of which is best described to be the revival of the deleted footage of the Force ghosts that help Rey that were filmed and cancelled by Kathleen Kennedy that is being instructed by George Lucas right now on how they will appear in the special edition of episode 9 that they want to release sometime by 2025 on Disney Plus and on store shelves on 4K disc. Now, it doesn't end there. So, we know that the special editions are going to involve a lot of deleted footage in different ways. So they're going to have an extended cut for each movie that's basically going to have canon material thrown into the actual cut and separate footage that will be considered non-canon, if that makes sense, per film. That's a very interesting format. I actually kind of like that. But on top of that, they're going to be adding in visual effects, one of which is going to involve the Force ghosts of the past actually being seen behind Rey. Now, believe it or not, guys, this was something that was being done before a lot of fans themselves created this, and how that really kind of caught on like wildfire, right? This was something that was partially filmed for episode 9, when George Lucas was helping JJ and Chris Terrio at the time, and before Kathleen Kennedy deleted that footage. The visuals of Anakin's Force Ghost speaking to Rey are exactly, what you are hearing in the final cut of the movie, his dialogue, taken from the visuals, but the visuals being blocked. So, it's interesting that they are reinstating the footage, and not just that, also enhancing and changing the footage to make it even all the more perfected in the final scene of episode 9 where Rey is going up against Palpatine, right? The final climax of the movie, I should say. And that, to me, I think is a very good move on his end. You know, the fact that George got this rolling on how he wanted to make this canon and not just make it a deleted scene. He wants to make it canon that the Force ghosts are actually seen and that they are going to be actually witnessed by Palpatine himself as well. So, on top of that, the Force ghosts of Anakin, Luke, Leia, Kenobi, Yoda, and others are set to make their full appearances as originally planned when J.J. Abrams was being helped by George for the scene until Kennedy deleted this one altogether. Dialogue from Hayden Christensen was used for the final cut, taken from the visually shot scenes that will now be altered and perfected with some additional shots. Now, keep in mind that by making this canon, this does kind of change things around a little bit. As far as we know, Palpatine did not sense the Force ghosts actually helping Rey or backing up Rey in that moment. I'm not quite sure if I even caught that when I was reading the novelization of Episode 9, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember Palpatine not once recognizing the Force ghost helping Rey, or at least sensing it. So basically what George wants to make canon is Palpatine actually witnessing the ghosts and getting a little bit intimidated by them. And that's something that's going to be done through additional shots. You know, throwing in that extra footage of Ian McDiarmid looking intimidated and stuff like that. And they have a lot of footage of Palpatine. Even Ian admitted that there was so much Palpatine material that they could have made a part 2 of Episode 9. That's what he literally said at one time after, I believe it was Star Wars Celebration of 2019, right after that. And very interesting stuff because a lot of people have always wanted to see the Force ghosts all together, bundled up, and just kind of doing their thing, you know, helping defeat the Sith once and for all. That, of course, being Palpatine, you know, aiding Rey and stuff like that. And by the way, I don't know if you guys knew, but there was footage shot where Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, also, I should say, Ben Solo actually helped Rey to a degree while he was still alive. So, I'm not quite sure if they're going to make that canon or if they're just going to include that as extra deleted footage that's going to be considered non-canon, but the Force ghosts, George is making that canon, and by 2025 they want to make it available on a special edition of Episode 9. Now George wants to make a canon that Palpatine does sense the Force ghost backing up Rey, especially Anakin. This is something that both John and Dave will also be helping out with in the meantime. Guys, I don't know about you, but this is something that I think should have been done in the first place and should have been allowed on the big screen. Imagine Palpatine witnessing Anakin's Force ghost and seeing him reformed as a Jedi through the ways, of course, the Netherworld, and really just establishing that fear that Palpatine has against the Skywalkers when they really are able to get the upper hand. You know, I think that at the end of the day, it would be very poetic. It would have been. And that's what George wants to insert in there. So, I think it's a great move. The fact that George is making all these constant canon changes right now, it may not necessarily fix anything. I will admit that. Let's be real here. It may not fix anything permanently, really, but I think it's going to make the movie more entertaining, without a doubt. So anyways, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.